Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story, which comes from the True Off My Chest subreddit from Empty Researcher 348 and says, "My husband ruined both our lives by asking me to double up his lunch serving for work. I want to throw away because I still haven't fully decided on divorce, but I'm 95% sure on it. Me, female 26, and my husband, male 25, and I've been married for almost 2 years and have a 6-month-old baby. I work part-time only to supplement our income and to pay the legal process of getting him documented. We are very fortunate that it seems it may be an easy process of maybe 2 years max for his residency, but now I'm going to cancel everything and ask for a divorce. My routine used to be I'd wake up 1.5 hours before him in the morning and make him lunch and pack everything for him for work, have his breakfast, coffee and clothes ready for him to wake up, eat, get dressed and head out within 30 minutes. He used to be satisfied with what I packed him of freshly made chicken and either honey buffalo, lemon pepper and salad or some sort of chicken wraps, etc. Pure healthy food. I did this because I wanted to make his life easier and show him I cared and loved him, and I've done this since we first moved in together more than 3 years ago. Well, recently, I've had to start including dinner leftovers because he started asking for more food and he was still hungry afterwards. Which I thought was odd because no matter if I work or not, he always comes home to prepared food. But even if he wasn't full, he would be okay. I explained it off with maybe he's bulking or something. So I started including what I normally take to work, which has caused me to either go without lunch or having to wait till after work or be late for work because I have to wait till the food is ready and take some because I'm breastfeeding and can't miss eating every time. I'll leave food going such as in a crock pot or low heat depending on how long after I leave he gets home. Well, last week when I was packing his lunch, I found an unrecognized second fork in his lunchbox and was thrown off. So I asked and he said he found it in the kitchen of his work and brought it home. Odd. Why didn't he just leave it? I'd noticed small changes in him that I gaslighted myself into I'm being insecure because I just had a baby, but this made the pit of my stomach churn. So a few days after, I decided to go to his work lunch to surprise him with dessert and for him to see the baby. Well, that was when I found out why he wanted more food. His co-worker, he told me no longer worked there, who I'd caught him talking too friendly to, and I told him it bothered me, and I had him remove everything and block on WhatsApp. Not only still worked there, but was eating the lunch I freshly prepared for him, and he was eating the leftovers. I didn't cause a scene, instead took pictures and added to my folder of everything he's done before, from simple hearting other girls' stories and telling me he didn't, to naked pictures of a co-worker from a previous job he got fired from because of her. I drove home crying to pack my things, and when I got home, I took the bassinet and everything I needed for the baby and my essentials, and went to my sisters and brother-in-laws and told them everything. And even showed him our conversation from WhatsApp where he told me she no longer worked there. I normally text him through the day, so he started texting me and calling me to see if I was okay and what was for dinner. He was almost off, is everything okay? And then he got to the house an hour earlier than usual, which also has me question if he's lying about what time he gets off too, and saw mine and the baby's things gone, and my letter that he had 7 days to leave my house. My mum gave it to me when I was 20. And that he can communicate with my mother to see the baby when I'm at work, or whenever he wants to see her, just let her know, I'll drop off the baby with her. I, for the time being, don't want anything to do with him, and left the printed photos of them eating lunch, laughing together under the letter. Later that night, when I decided I no longer wanted anything to do with him, I informed the lawyer. We had a group WhatsApp chat with me, him, the lawyer, paralegal, and my brother-in-law, our co-sponsor, that I no longer was going to need his services. And then messaged the lawyer privately to ask if I could maybe move our contract and the money I've paid so far to his divorce and family practice. He said unfortunately there's some clause or something that if we decide to no longer pursue the case, we lose the money. We lose the money we've invested, and also that his immigration practice is a partnership with different people than his family one. But he will just leave our case open till we get a response for our next appointment from the government, and if we haven't worked things out by then he will cancel everything. Well, this caused him to go insane because now, if he doesn't get papers, he has to choose between his daughter and parents. To either risk never seeing his parents and family again, or never seeing his daughter again if he goes over there. He's begging me to the point I blocked him on everything. He's came to my brother-in-law's house and been told to leave or we're calling the police. Then came back later drunk with his buddies, who then were all scared off by my brother-in-law and his shotgun. I feel so lost, broken and depressed. I also have security at work to make sure he doesn't show up at my office. My sister tells me to leave him, but not to divorce so he can never get with anyone else and get papers, but I can't do that to him. I've gone back home, only to check on the house and see if he's gone, and I'm still staying with my sister. And surprisingly, there's no damage to anything and his things only are gone. So at least I feel a little relief in that. I'm not looking for advice. I know I'm not going back. There is no longer any trust. My mental health wouldn't be safe in that relationship, and I know I can't have my daughter grow up with that kind of relationship being an example. I just needed to put this out there in order to solidify in my brain to be able to reflect that this is now a pattern, and he's gone beyond disrespecting me by now. Also, making me make her food. I've been budgeting trying to make things last. Sometimes eating less than I want to or skipping meals if possible. If a meal was heavier of carbs, I'd skip since I should have enough for my milk supply. All to be able to pay bills, lawyer, his gym membership and supplements. I lose out on rest and sleep because I ensure laundry in the house is kept spotless while the baby sleeps. I've basically gone from an independent, educated career woman to a 90s, 50s housewife with a job and school. All because I blindly fell for this man. When I say I feel stupid, that's an understatement. Opie then edits the post and says, "Some things I want to clarify I've been seeing in the comments. No, my sister isn't pushing me to stay in a relationship with him. She's telling me not to divorce him so that he can't just go and find another woman to marry and use for the green card. No, I'm not taking anything from him that wasn't mine before we got married. Before me, he lived in a house with 7 other men sharing a bedroom with a bunk bed and drove a 2000 Buick. He had to unplug from the battery in order to use it again. That car got scrapped after the electrical went out. The car he is using is my car I got in high school. That got me through high school part-time and seasonable jobs and community college. Also, my mum isn't dead. She gave me my childhood home because I was going to college and it's a 10-minute commute from the college. She gave it to me because I'm the last of the kids. All my brothers and sisters are at least 10 years older, and aside from my sister who's helping me, they all live in different states. He left home with a motorcycle, is customizing his game system's clothes in the guest bedroom TV, which was the only TV that was not mounted. Also, I'm not keeping his daughter from him. I just personally don't want to see him because I know he will try to give me a ton of excuses and try to make me understand him. He can speak to my sister or mum and they will supervise him to see his daughter whenever he wants to. There is no battle in that. I don't think he's a bad father, but I just don't think my relationship with him is the example I want to give to my daughter. Yes, I am Mexican too. My dad came to the States and then later brought my mum and 2 brothers and 2 sisters. It took a decade to see each other again, which is why I'm so apart from my siblings and the only one born here. So from what I understand, and a quick Google told me that a green card is to get permanent residency in the US. And I can't pretend to know how the whole system works, but it sounds like from what I've read is that that's pretty much buggered now. He's not going to be able to get that because he's cheated and you've separated from him. But you know, this is just a simple case of, I know you said you're not asking for advice or anything like that, so I'm not going to give it, but it sounds like it's a simple case of actions have consequences. But Lexi says in this situation, just adding that I was told if you get a divorce before everything is finalized, you can't get citizenship anywhere in the US. I left my ex-husband when I found out it was only for the green card. Gil says do not let anyone blame you for the green card issues he's going to face now. He made the decision to cheat on you despite knowing that your marriage was what was getting him his green card in the first place. He made this mess, not you. Now he's the one who has to clean it up. Just Me Raw says, I'm glad you're not seeking advice because you're probably doing everything that this community would suggest. Moral of the story to your soon-to-be ex. Don't shit where you eat. Critical Bank says you've absolutely done the right thing for the time being. I highly suggest you keep your current temporary living arrangements for several months. Continue to check on the house. Have the locks changed so he no longer has access and install security cameras or a ring cam. You want to ensure your safety and the safety of your child. Also, if the child has a passport, be sure you have it in your possession under lock and key. You could easily leave the country with a child if there's a passport and you could never see the child again. Best of luck. Salty Box says, wait. You caught this man with naked pictures of a co-worker before and didn't kick him to the curb right then. That man sounds horrible, OP. I'm glad you're taking appropriate measures. You deserve so much better. OP says, I've been told by my sister to inform everyone that this was my first actual long-term relationship. She says that may give people a clue as to why I was so naive. It was also very early in the relationship and we weren't living together yet. I met him when I was traveling around to local jobs, where it was known immigrants worked to post and inform them of local resources to help them with medical insurance, free clinics and ESL programs for children and adults. I was working for a seasonal daycare program for agriculture workers. The OP does come in to update the post and says, sorry it's been a while since I updated anyone. I've been busy sorting out my life and this was supposed to be a throwaway, so I didn't expect it to blow the way it did, much less anyone to actually want updates. I guess I'll start with the most asked questions, which was if I left him. Yes, I also got a full checkup and I indeed had an infection. I was lucky I could treat and be good without any further issues. This also confirmed his unfaithfulness because, as I imagine, I had a baby not long ago, and during the whole pregnancy they checked me for everything, and they had done a full panel when I was 3 months postpartum because I got a UTI, and my doctor wanted to ensure it was only that. But I talked to him to get his side of the story. Yes. When I went to tell him about the infection, I allowed him to speak his mind about everything and I only asked him for the truth as there wasn't anything else for him to ruin. I was completely over at this point. And here's the basic TLDR. He never meant to hurt me. He loves his daughter and me. He enjoyed the attention. It was something new and exciting. It took his mind off the stress of bills, kids, my emotional state and the general routine of his life. Life had gotten boring and she entertained him. I'm sorry that your wife organized your previously chaotic life. That's about what I believe to be true, out of the couple of hours of begging, excuses, gaslighting, and even blaming. The rest was, the infection is a common one that happens because of cow crap everywhere, and because he goes out and pees outside without washing his hands or something. She doesn't like men, she was just one of the guys. Come on, really? I only gave her lunch that day. It was just the one time that she forgot her lunch and she asked me because she saw I had 2 lunches. He would never stand so low to break his family. Why would I make such assumptions? Oh, so you knew what you were doing. Once I showed him my chart with my results and explained how it's not a normal infection like E. coli that you can get because of poop, that it was an actual transmissible infection. I also explained that I hadn't slept with anyone since we met and how my doctor explained that if I would have had any kind of transmissible diseases, I would have known during my pregnancy because not only is it common practice to test for all risks, but my high pregnancy and preterm labor, she tested for all kinds of things to see if she could find the cause of issues, and afterwards to find the cause of preterm labor. He admitted it shortly after, that he listened to me and saw my doctor's note. Our lad, I have the best obgyn and she was amazing in listening to me and allowing me to cry, and gave me not only support during that moment with even having a nurse take my daughter out for me to cry, but also printed me information and ensured me that a simple medicine will make it all go away and I should not see any more issues. Anyhow, he's staying at the dairy at some trailer the owner let him borrow, and for those who thought she would take him in, turns out she's engaged and she's about to start her wedding and do an adjustment of status, get her papers. Anyways, I'm back to living on my own. My baby is doing great. I have another office job lined up for January. I have a few universities I've applied to. I'm currently going to community college online, but if I get into uni, I think I'll move out of this town. My grandma said she would move with me to help me. Some days are long like today. It's late at night and I can't sleep because I miss him. But I've been entertaining myself, getting rid of stuff in my home to start a new slate and organize everything. I won't lie and say I'm doing great. On my days off, I don't get out of bed. My house is clean, but my bedroom has my laundry basket over full, and I brought out the guest blankets and pillows to use. People at work have noticed a slow pace in my work, and I was offered time off, but I denied it. Although now that somehow the rumor of what happened has reached my job, I may take it. Thank you all for the support, everyone. Although I had a few people call me names and talk badly to me in my messages, I appreciate the other people who commented nice things and showed me support. Edit for another update. Woke up to husband's call. He apologized again. I'm still not budging, but he told me he was talking to some guys at work about free clinics or where they go when they're sick, and turns out that same woman had been sleeping with a few from there. I don't know if around the same time, but one of them told my husband where to get treated for free because he got it from her too. In his apology, which sounded more sincere this time, but I believe it's worse because it's only after he realized he wasn't special to her, just another one of the guys she slept with. But I say sincere because he didn't have many excuses. Instead, he seemed to hold himself accountable by saying he had won the lottery and messed up. He begged for a second chance because he doesn't know what came over him. He says he hates coming home to an empty trailer. He misses seeing his daughter the moment after work. What choked me up was when he said he used to feel more exhausted when he used to come home to us because the baby would be excited to see him and would cry to be held by him. And during the week I would often leave the same easy meals made for him so he could eat while I left to work, and he started to feel tired of it. It was a boring routine of same foods during the week, coming home and having to watch the baby so I could go to work. That solidified to me that I don't ever want to find another relationship, much less go back to him. The routine I worked hard to put my family together was a chore to him. I literally dealt with a fussy, tired child till he got home, so she would mostly sleep. He would only need a single bottle for her, but even that was too hard. He said he would give up the world just to be back in his routine because now he comes to an empty trailer where it's just a bed and a fold-out table. He hasn't eaten his diet because he doesn't have time to prep. He started spending money on lunch because he doesn't have food made for him. He says he misses the baby so much that now he cries when he goes home. I told him I don't know what to tell him about that, but if he wanted to see the baby when I go back to work, he can go and see her at my mum's, who now babysits for me. Know my mum, she makes food and she would never deny him food, so he can go over there and eat and be with the baby after work. But I had to go. I couldn't talk anymore. When I tell you I've never cried so hard in my life, it's an understatement. It doesn't help it's raining today. I think I'm calling into work today and tomorrow, talking to my boss about taking those days. Edits, I was logging off for a while, but I figured I'd update to let everyone know she found my home and started harassing me now. I guess somehow her fiance found out and she thinks it was because of me. I feel like things are just going from bad to worse. I had to leave my car in my mum's garage and borrow my nephew's car, which my neighbour let me park in her driveway because she threatened to ruin my car, like I ruined her relationship. Which isn't just hypothetical, but also ironic. And part of me was thinking, isn't there some sort of like, can the police get involved? Is there some sort of restraining order to keep this person away from you? I know there's sort of like various legal things and she has to do certain things to get that to happen, but one of the things that popped into my mind initially, again, I don't know whether that can happen or not. And I had a quick look at OP and they actually asked on a legal advice subreddit about the same thing, saying there's some stuff that happened that this person has done to them, like they've punctured a hole in one of OP's tires, wrote on the bay window home wrecker, keeps calling from different numbers and threatened OP saying, I'll ruin your car like you ruined my relationship. OP's going to get their parents and they're going to put some cameras around and stuff like that to try and do it. Surely they must be able to get a restraining order on that. And how unhinged is that person to be calling you the home wrecker after what she's done? It's so frustrating that people can't take a step back and take responsibility for their own actions like that, yet blame you, the innocent party in all this. It's wild train of thought. And I'm extremely sorry that you're facing it. It sounds like an incredibly stressful time, especially with dealing with everything as well. You know, you've got a young child. It must be wild trying to deal with all this shit. I am sorry for you. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? What would you suggest to OP? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved. It's incredible. Thank you. And I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.